Now I will discuss about the various clinical studies which are published by using high dose of vitamin D. A high dose vitamin D administration in ventilated intensive care unit patient, a pilot double-blind randomized controlled trial was published in Journal of Clinical and Translation Endocrinology by Jenny E. Han et al. In 2016. This was a randomized trial conducted in 31 ICU patients on ventilator in Atlanta, USA. The patients were divided into three groups: a placebo group, vitamin D 50,000 international unit or 1 lakh international unit daily for 5 days. The primary outcome was plasma 25 hydroxy vitamin D level. The secondary outcome included plasma antimicrobial peptide, that is cathepsin, known as LL37, length of stay in ICU and hospital, SOFA score, duration of ventilator use, hospital acquired infection, and mortality in 12 weeks. This diagram shows the patient enrollment, allocation, and follow-up. Total 31 patients were enrolled in this study, 10 in placebo group, 10 in 2,50,000 international unit vitamin D group, and 11 in 5 lakhs international unit vitamin D group. This histogram represents the 25 hydroxy vitamin D plasma levels seen in three groups of patients on day 0, day 7, day 14, day 21 and day 28. There is a dose and time dependent significant increase in plasma levels of 25 hydroxy vitamin D levels, and P was highly significant, less than 0.001. This table shows the clinical outcome of this study. As compared to placebo, 2 doses of vitamin D decrease the length of stay in hospital, P less than 0.03. In placebo group, the mean hospital stay was 36 days, and with 2.5 lakhs vitamin D, it was 25 days, while the mean hospital stay was 18 days with 5 lakh dose of vitamin D. Similarly, the duration of ICU stay was also decreased with the 2 doses of vitamin D than placebo. There was decrease in ventilator use with vitamin D. It was 20, 12 and 14 days with placebo, 2.5 lakhs and 5 lakh dose of vitamin D respectively. So there is a good clinical outcome with the 2 doses of vitamin D. Mean serum calcium, creatinine and the serum phosphorus levels are shown in this table. We can see here that there is no significant change in these parameters between placebo or the 2 doses of vitamin D. So there is no significant any change on creatinine, calcium or phosphorus with high dose of vitamin D. In this table, change in the plasma levels of antimicrobial peptide, that is LL37 is shown. On day 7 and day 14, compared to placebo group, there is a change in the plasma levels of LL37 with 2.5 lakhs and 5 lakhs international unit doses of vitamin D. This table shows the correlation between 25-hydroxyvitamin D plasma levels and bronchoalveolar fluid levels. There is a significant positive correlation between plasma and bronchoalveolar levels of 25-hydroxyvitamin D. P is less than 0.001. This again shows that there is a optimum distribution of vitamin D levels in lung tissues. Summary of high dose vitamin D study in critically ill patient. 43% of the patient had vitamin D3 level below 20 nanogram per ml in this study, and they did show significant increase in vitamin D3 level. Significant decrease in the length of stay in hospital was seen with 2 doses of vitamin D. There was significant decrease in the length of stay in ICU and significant decrease in the period of use of ventilator also was seen with 2 doses of vitamin D. No significant change in serum calcium, creatinine and serum phosphate levels was seen with the 2 doses of vitamin D. In conclusion, this pilot study with high dose of vitamin D safely increased the level of 25-hydroxyvitamin D to sufficient range and was associated with decreased use of ventilator, hospital stay and ICU stay. Thus, one can conclude that high dose of vitamin D is useful in treating critically ill patients, those who are admitted in ICU. The effect of cholecalciferol, that is vitamin D supplementation, on vitamin D status and calcicidin levels in sepsis. A randomized placebo-controlled trial was conducted in Boston, USA. This was published by Sadiq A. Qureshi et al. This was a randomized placebo-controlled trial in patients those who are admitted in ICU with sepsis. Total 30 adult ICU patients were enrolled in the study. They are divided into 3 groups. First group placebo, second group received vitamin D 2 lakh international units, third group received vitamin D 4 lakh international unit as a single dose. This histogram represents the level of 25-hydroxyvitamin D in 3 groups on day 1, day 3, day 5 and day 7. We can see here that the peak plasma 25-hydroxyvitamin D levels were reached in 5 days time, and there was a dose-dependent rise in vitamin D levels with 2 lakhs and 4 lakhs international units of vitamin D. This table here shows the plasma levels of vitamin D and various other biomarkers along with the clinical outcome. If you see the clinical outcome, you will find that the stay in the ICU was significantly decreased with the 2 doses of vitamin D. In case of placebo, it was 12 days, while with 2 lakhs it is only 4 days and with 4 lakh dose it is 3 days. Coming to the length of hospital stay, It is 21 days in case of placebo group. It is reduced to 13 days with 2 lakh and 14 days with 4 lakh vitamin D. Coming to 30 days readmission percentage, this is also very significantly decreased by using vitamin D. P is highly significant, less than 0.001. This histogram shows the level of 25 hydroxy vitamin D, bioavailable 25 hydroxy vitamin D, then concentration of LL37 and high sensitive CRP with placebo 2 lakh and 4 lakh dose of vitamin D. There was a significant change seen with both 2 and 4 lakh dose of vitamin D in 5 days. The vitamin D levels and bioavailable vitamin D levels were significantly improved with 2 doses. Similarly, the biomarker of inflammation, that is the antimicrobial peptide LL37, also was significantly changed with 2 and 4 lakhs of vitamin D. Clearly, it is showing that it has got very good anti-inflammatory activity with this high dose. This histogram shows the effect of 2 doses of vitamin D on interleukin 4 and interleukin 10. These are inflammatory biomarkers, and both interleukin 4 and interleukin 2 showed change with the 2 doses of vitamin D. Effect of vitamin D on other biomarkers like interleukin beta, interleukin 6, TNF alpha and interferon gamma. There is a significant change seen in interleukin 6, interleukin 1 beta and interferon gamma with 2 and 4 lakhs of vitamin D. It was more significant with 4 lakhs of vitamin D as compared to placebo. In conclusion, administration of 4 lakh international unit of cholecalciferol as a single bolus at the outset of severe sepsis or septic shock is a safe and effective intervention to rapidly improve 25 hydroxy vitamin D levels and bioavailable 25 hydroxy vitamin D levels in patients with low vitamin D status. In turn, the change in bioavailable 25 hydroxy vitamin D levels are associated with concomitant increase in circulating LL37 levels. Cholecalciferol supplementation also significantly influenced the cytokine expression in patients with severe sepsis or septic shock. Large trials are needed to verify these findings and to assess whether optimizing vitamin D status may improve sepsis-related clinical outcome. High-dose vitamin D study in ICU patient. Short-term effect of high-dose oral vitamin D3 in critically ill vitamin D deficient patient. A randomized double-blind placebo-controlled pilot study was conducted in Austria. It was a randomized trial conducted in 25 critically ill patients admitted in ICU. Patients were divided into two groups. One group received the placebo, The experimental group received the vitamin D 4.4 lakhs international unit as a single bolus dose. This figure shows the mean 25 hydroxy vitamin D level after a single dose of 5.4 lakhs international units of vitamin D on day 0, day 1, day 2, day 3 and day 5. We can see here that there is a time dependent increase in the concentration of 25 hydroxy vitamin D in ICU patient. This pilot study is the first randomized controlled trial that investigates the short-term effect of high dose of vitamin D, that is 5.4 lakhs, in a limited number of critically ill patients. In conclusion, the administration of high dose of vitamin D, that is 5.4 lakh, continue to be promising and inexpensive intervention of vitamin D deficient critically ill patient. Most importantly, that normalization of 25 hydroxy vitamin D status is also related to improvement in the clinical outcome parameters. Recently, US FDA has approved the high dose vitamin D study, which is entitled COVID-19 and vitamin D supplementation, a multicentric randomized controlled trial of high dose versus standard dose vitamin D3 in high risk COVID-19 patient. This US FDA study is recruiting the patient above 70 years of age, those who are positive with COVID-19 infection. This study is having two arms. One is the experimental intervention group, where the patient will receive vitamin D supplementation of 4 lakh international unit as a single oral dose. The second arm will be the active comparator, where the patient will receive vitamin D supplementation of 50,000 international unit as a single oral dose. This is a letter published by Gary Sauerfenberg about the use of high dose of vitamin D in influenza. This is a first time 50,000 international unit of vitamin D or 10,000 international unit of vitamin D 3 times a day, that is 1.5 lakhs daily for 3 days, total dose 4.5 lakhs, or 30,000 international unit daily for 3 days, that is total dose 90,000 international unit for 2 to 3 days was used. This dose has resulted in a dramatic with complete resolution of symptoms of influenza within 48 to 72 hours. One-time dose of vitamin D at this level has been used safely and have never been shown any toxic effect. We urgently need a study of this intervention to evaluate the role of vitamin D.